Hey guys, DT here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a brand new episode of Boom Beach. Today's episode is titled Mission Impossible because I really thought when I challenged my team to do this, no way in hell that this was actually going to happen. But as always, my team finds ways to prove me wrong because they're so super duper awesome. So let's jump into the actual challenge. So the challenge consisted of trying to take down my base with a combination of Cryoneers and Grenadiers. Now we all know that Cryoneers and Grenadiers are the troops that have the most crazy ADD. They have hard times concentrating on the defenses, on economy buildings, and therefore they are a little bit difficult to navigate throughout the base. Now, we also know that Cryoneers are probably one of the least used troops in the history of Boom Beach. Well, actually, that's not factual. I don't know for sure. But in my experience, my team uses Cryoneers the least, so I thought, well, maybe I will challenge them with the troop that is perhaps the least upgraded that they have. And when I first threw down the challenge, people did say, wow, those are the two troops that I've spent least time upgrading, so this is going to be difficult. Let's go ahead and jump into the first attack. I'm going to show you a few, and I have my little cheat sheet bunny pad over here, so I do not forget to tell you exactly what I want to tell you about these all awesome attacks, and we're going to start with Michael. Michael was the first person to attack, and he did not succeed, so I thought I will show you off exactly what is happening here. I also made some minor adjustments to my base because you guys know that it was not all that great. Last time I showed you, I got taken down like super easy with one Scorcher. You saw that video probably, but Michael was the first one, and even though his troops did not make it far into the base, I thought I will show it to you anyway. Let's take a look at David, and David did a few attacks. I'm going to show you the first one because they are essentially going to have a very similar outcome. So let's take a look at the first attack, and this one here is also going to show you a little bit of a pathway that will be paved by David for the rest of the team. And what he's doing here is getting rid of some of the key defenses, and then he is going to flare his troops over through the left flank. Now the left flank is going to be the most used flank by all of the people who have won in this challenge, and also we have to keep in mind that some of the troops are going to be more upgraded. You know, for some people's accounts, other players' accounts will have less upgraded troops, so keep that in mind. And also, of course, GBE, if your GBE is boosted, you have more chances of getting further and further into the base. So let's go ahead and take a look at a third attack. The reason I'm not going to show you RKO's first attack is because he did not attack with proper troop combo. He later retrained and did a proper attack, so now let's take a look at the third attack, and this one here is also a victory, or rather first victory with a proper troop combination in this challenge. So let's take a close look. I'm going to go 2 times the speed so we can kind of see exactly what's happening, but a little faster so this video does not turn to be 20 minutes long. And this combination features only just a few boats of Cryoneers and the rest of Grenadiers. Now what is happening here is a classic left flank deployment. As you will see, the flaring is happening to the left hand side, and then the win is going to be really quite easy from here on because the GBE is going to be enough to continue to shock some of the defenses that are hitting up the troops, and then the reflaring will help to put the troops in a ultimately best sort of spot on the base where both Cryoneers and Grenadiers will be hitting up the base. Now, of course, their flame, their flare, their aim is not perfect, but nonetheless, this was a beautiful takedown, and this was the first takedown with the exact troop combo that we had the challenge with. And this was actually not even a takedown where all of the rocket launchers were taken down. The third and remaining rocket launcher is still there. It's still hitting up the Grenadiers, and because the Grenadiers were there originally, the rocket launcher is hitting them up and not the Cryoneers, because Grenadiers can actually take a little bit more heat than Cryoneers can. So this was the first victory. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was beautiful. And now let's take a look at RKO's attack. Guys, this one was so close. When I watched it, I felt so bad. If I was him, I probably would be quite upset, but maybe for just like 3 or 4 seconds, because he does a fantastic job. He gets this close to winning, and then of course 2 things happen that did not allow him to win. 1, I have a hot pot. 2, the time was not on his end. And when I was looking at this attack and watching it a few times, I think that if one thing happened differently, he probably would have won. And let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening right now. He's just farming for some GBE over on a right hand side corner, and then he's going to walk up his troops to the shore, or to the HQ. Now you can also see the troops are separated. I think that's something that we've spoken about plenty before, where Cryoneers do separate. They end up kind of walking away one at a time. Now, after the most recent update, that has been improved, but they still do walk away. So over here, guys, look at the hotbot. So RKO is going to use his critters, and the critters get flamed down by the hotbot. And I think if he saved his critters for when the hotbot was already down, I think he actually would have won, because the critters would have been an immense help in bringing down the HQ. By the time he finished and ran out of time, I only had about 25% of HP available and remaining on the base. So I think he would have probably won if he would have waited until the hotbot was down and then dropped 2 boxes of critters. So let's go ahead and take a look at Till Daddy over here. Till Daddy's victory was super easy. He only did 1 attack. He's like, I came, I saw a conquer. I don't need to do this again. And let's take a look at this in its entirety. He's going to get rid of the rocket launchers first, and then he's going to clear off the shock launcher over on the right hand side. Now what he's going to do is also kind of a left hand side drop, but he's not going to reflare from the left as we've seen in the previous victories. He is doing a little bit of a, I'm going to take it all down. This is all going down. And so he's bringing down all of the defense buildings on the base, and then basically is walking his troops up when convenient to the HQ. Now he did need to get rid of that shock launcher, because otherwise it would have been bad news. Once it was down, my base basically did not stand a chance. And even though Grenadiers and Cryoneers did not have a perfect aim, this still was a very easy victory for him. So guys, I really did not think that I was going to have that many victories in this challenge, but my task force, I guess, is amazing. And we're not going to see this become like a popular troop combo in the future, but it just goes to show you that with a right amount of strategy and patience, you can bring down any base with basically almost any troop combination. Now we have 2 more attacks to look at. I'm going to show you Argus's second attack. The reason I'm going to show you the second one is because it's basically just an improvement on the first original attack. And I want you to keep an eye on him taking down the rocket launchers, and then what he will do is he will throw a box of critters over to the right hand side corner where I have all of my production and economy buildings, and then that's going to help him to farm for GBE. Now there is a shock launcher that will soon become in range of those critters, but that's not for us to worry about right now. He's going to deploy his troops and do a proper left flank walk up. Let's go ahead and go 4 times the speed, and then from there he's going to take down that shock launcher, because as you can see, he was starting to hit up the critters, and critters were kind of producers. They were producing GBE for him, and therefore he needed to take down that shock launcher. Of course, shock launcher would also hit up the Cryoneers, because they would have been off the range of the base, but this was such a beautiful attack, beautiful takedown, and what a smart use of your resources. Dropping 1 box of critters provided him with this much extra more GBE, and this ultimately was a very easy victory because of that. So this is our second to last attack and a victory, and let's go ahead and take a look at one more here, and this one is by Biggest. Biggest did something different. We have mainly seen all of the people go through the left flank of the base, but Biggest is going to go ahead and non-conform, and he's going to go through the right hand side. So let's go ahead and watch that. I'm going to go and go 2 times the speed so we can check this out a bit faster. So he took care of the rocket launcher and a shock launcher. Now he is actually not going to worry about the rocket launchers that are remaining. So he's doing a nice little walk up there. Now Grenadiers and Cryoneers have a different speed a little bit, right? And so he's being really careful there over lane. Now his troops get to the GBE sweet farming spot over here, and look at how cool the freezer beam is when it's freezing up the trees on my base. Really quite cool. So over here he's just gonna reflare his troops and then take down the base really so easily, guys. Look, the rocket launchers were remaining just until a few seconds ago, and so it didn't take him much. Now, I don't know if there was a lot of boosting happening on his base, but this was a very easy takedown for him. With just a few seconds left, the troops have nothing in their way, and my HQ is bound to go down. Now, guys, there were also multiple more attacks that also were victories, but they basically showed a very similar strategy and very similar execution, so I thought I'm only going to show you some of the highlights. And this is going to be it for today's Mission Impossible, I guess, that was made possible by my task force video. If you have any other troop combo requests that are more crazy than Cryoneers and Grenadiers, go ahead and let me know in comments below. Don't forget to smack a like button if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next episode.